What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Sunday Fun Day. I hope everybody had a lovely day. My day was interesting. Before we get into how my day was, let's go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all the things that support your girl over here. Well, oh, what happened here? Get that out of there. Get that out of there. See, I'll be over here clicking things and it becomes a distraction. Anyway, um, today was an interesting day. I started my day with a morning walk as I often do. And on my way home, this sweet little girl, she's a dog, but my dogs are all boys. I have two. I have a pit bull and I have my Maxie is a half poodle, half Japanese chin. Anyway, this little dog, I don't know what she is, some type of mutt little, thing. And she followed us home. So I wasn't going to bring her home. Hey, El Cid. I'm just getting started over here. I wasn't going to bring her home, but she almost got hit by a car twice while I was trying to, make my way back around the corner. So we don't know her name. We know she's very well trained. She obeys commands. My pit bull Baxter is very much not in the mood to have some new person staying in the house. So, he's not loving it. And, I put it in the community page. I put it in, wherever you turn in, let people know that I have found somebody's missing pet. She's definitely very lovable and obviously comes from a very loving situation. I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet, but yeah, I have a visitor that I wasn't expecting, a whole four-legged visitor that I'm very conflicted about what's going to happen with her, in terms of what if these people don't come get their dog? Anyway, yeah, that's how my day started. I hope y'all stay. And it wasn't a bad thing. I don't know. The spirit told me to bring her. It's not even usually in my nature. But like I said, she was so sweet. And when, she almost got hit by a car, something in my spirit was like, let's just take her home, try to find the owner. I think tomorrow morning I'm going to go take her on a walk, like, where I found her so I can see if somebody's looking for her or somebody knows where she came from. But yeah, that's how that went. Sounds like a lifetime line. It is, Elsid. It's a lifetime line update. And like I said, it's not normally in my character to bring, like, I got two dogs already. I don't need another dog. I don't want another dog, but she's winning our hearts over around here. So we'll see what happens. Anybody protest today? The Kings was well, not the king. Kings. Do you know that man that's over there trying to make himself a king? He was over there. People were having a protest. I did not go protest, but I support, the people that went out. And it looks like a whole lot of people were out there today in these streets doing what needs to be done. My motto is not my motto, but my way of thinking is like, some of y'all need to go ahead and go first, handle these things. Um, let's see. Chicago, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Washington, D.C., New York, San Diego, Boston, and, looks like the people showed up. So that's a good thing. I feel like I'm very happy to see that the people are over here, making their voices be heard. Now, I think the next step is definitely to like get it in pockets. Get in the pockets because that's where these people, these businesses and things are affected. I'm trying to like multitask and it's not working. I'm trying to pull this up on my phone so I can see what's being said. But anyway, yeah, I'm it's always like amazing to me when you see these humongous crowds, and these are not the only places where people were out making their voices heard. what happens if all these people put their money where their mouth is? Because I feel like, it's the pockets that get people, to start moving things around. I saw an article the other day about 3 officers. I believe it was Augusta, Georgia. 3 officers went into a Chick-fil-A, 2 white, 1 black, and the staff gave the white officers free meal. I guess Chick-fil-A, that's a thing for them. They offer free meals to, the police department. They made the black officer pay. So if y'all have been spending your monies at Chick-fil-A, I'm not. I can find a chicken sandwich anywhere, so I won't be going to Chick-fil-A. I haven't gone to Chick-fil-A in a really long time. So, all these people that are out here marching, and marches are necessary. It lets the people know who all out here. And so shout out to all the people that were out here protesting the Kang, because we don't want it. We do not. We don't have any interest in it. Let's see. My boss told me if you go, just don't get arrested. Well, yeah, that's what I said. That's why, like, my feeling about that is like, y'all do this one. Y'all got this one, because I feel like I can take my money and spend my money in other places, and I'm very conscious of trying to do that. Grocery stores and things of that nature are going to be a little bit more difficult, but I can make the effort when I have to. Speak with your vote. Yeah, get out and vote, because they trying to take the voices away. Yeah, Chick-fil-A won't be a hard thing for me to give up, but I'm just saying that the racism is so blatant these days that it's unfortunate. That's all I can say about that. It's just very blatant. And the only way, like I said, to fight back, one of the best ways to fight back is with your dollars, because they can see it's effective. It's so weird. Like, this takeover is just mind-boggling. I ran across this. I like to share the good stuff, and nothing like some wisdom from, the old school to share with the people. That's what I'm here to do. So this man is talking about the land, that as who owns land. Some of us still own land. So I'm going to let him say what he has to say, and then I'll give my 2 cents.
Us, and I hate to admit it, is they garner the land more so than we do. They know the value of the land more so than our people do. And I want to change that. Don't sell the land. Don't sell the land. Don't sell the land. Don't never, ever sell the land under no circumstances. It's non-negotiable, because you can transfer that land to your children and get them generational wealth. So I want young people to work with older skill set farmers, pass on that generational wealth, and I want us to become self-sufficient.
Is there a program for that, to where there's connections that can be made? How many farmers do you represent?
150,000 farmers around the United States, and we've been around since the 80s, a very, very long time, and we peaked out under all of those lawsuits. So most of the farmers that we got in, that became active through the actual lawsuits that they were receiving monies from. But I want us to get away from that, because the government is never going to be our friend, and I want us to become more self-sufficient, which meaning buying processing plants, opening up markets, start selling direct in our communities, all the things that we were doing before integration. We were already doing all. We had our own stores, and these are things that we have to get back to if you want to become self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And my daddy said this, and I hate to quote him, but this last time I quoted him tonight.
No, it's okay. He got some good quotes.
He said, to actually pass on generational wealth, you got to be in the mindset to do it. You got to be in the mindset to pass on generational wealth. You got to be able to pick that heir to the throne. This is going to be it. And you may have 9 kids, and you may leave them some other assets. You may leave them the equipment and the money. But the farm over here, I'm going to leave this over here to Junior, because I really sincerely believe that Junior's going to say that damn bull agree with me. Now, what white people do better than us?
I love that. I love to hear that. I mean, I feel like I seen an article the other day, and you know how you scrolling past things because that's what be on your timeline, on my timeline, and so I'll hit it, and I might not share it, but it's not a news story. Just an article saying how much that Louis Vuitton or one of these designer label. I don't want to say Louis Vuitton. I can't remember, but I feel like I saw some LVs on some of those purses. Spending $57 to sell something, upwards of $2,800. So you will spend in order to look a certain way. That's why you got Wendy Steffo over here, and we're going to talk about her later too, and the type of trouble she's in, because they're over here spending money on things. Meanwhile, you got Angel. They come on tonight, so I'm not having a problem, bringing them into this conversation. But you got Angel and her husband who are looking for acres. I don't think we do that. We look for a neighborhood that's got, a home. I mean, yeah, homes already built, and it's status attached to these neighborhoods and things. That's what we look for. And so I think, it's definitely a good idea to get in the mindset of buying acres instead of he's talking farm, but you can learn how to work the land, your little bitty land. Have a garden, do something. But in my neighborhood, I live in Puerto Rico. I live in the Caribbean. I'll put it that way, because it's not just Puerto Ricans. When them eggs went up to like $6, there's chickens everywhere. My neighbor gave us eggs the other day from his chickens. So that's not even something I would know how to do. I can learn, and it's not even like, I didn't even know they had chickens. So depending on, you don't have to have a freaking farm. You can have a few chickens and teach your kids. Like, my daughter is very much a girl of the earth. She's a nature girl. So I look forward to watching my grandson learn how to garden, learn how to, work the land, because some of the people ain't going to do it. Now, Elsid, you said eminent domain. What does that mean? I'm sure I should know, but that's why I like having these conversations. So eminent domain, what is that? Let me see. I got the Google. Define eminent domain. I'm about to learn something. It's the government's power to take private property for public use. Somehow I had a feeling that's what it is. The government can seize your land. They can, but like when you see these, protests and all these people coming, together to try to make change, all I can do is hope that, we got to make change some type of way, and that this direction that we going in somehow can be halted, because it's frightening. It is frightening. I feel like, they talk about Gen X, and we brag a lot, Gen X, but it's because we've seen so much. We've seen so much. We knew how life was before the internet and all of this technology. So I feel like before you could, my mother used to tell stories of how she had to wring the chicken's neck, and they would cook the chickens, and she wasn't on a farm. This is my grandmother they're from Florida. So, they were raised handling things, all on their own like that. So that's not something I would be able to do deep down in my little heart. But, I can learn how to garden, and I can learn how to have eggs for my own home, and not worry about what was put in the, the freaking food, at the grocery store. I always try to at least look at the positive side. So start teaching, your kids to look for acres. You can always build on your acres. You could process a chicken for the table. I guess that's what she was doing. I cannot. I can only process a chicken from the grocery store, but it's disgusting. You know, when you're cooking and preparing food, I look at ground beef and all of that stuff, and I'm like, man, this is definitely not like how it was back in the day. But you know, it's got to be healthier than I don't know what's at McDonald's. McDonald's will kill you. So, and I have really made an effort not to do that. I try very hard not to go through drive-throughs, and there's times when you got to do it. What is it? Checkers got a $4 meal that, you know, and I knocked down plenty of them Glorilla meals that I don't want to do it anymore just because I'm like, what is it? What am I eating for real? Because they're just giving this shit away. So, you know, anyway, let's try to be a part of changing the mindset and not so much focused on, I don't know, the modern way of doing things. There's good and there's bad in it. And, you know, I'm going to talk about both of those things, but look for acres. Build, you know, start small. Build a home on your acres. And, you know, hopefully you don't ever run into eminent domain. So, man, we can't win for losing, can we? Detroit is out here doing things. Let's see. Speaking of land, Detroit is offering 50% off for Native Americans to buy land. I think that's what it says. What does it say? The city of Detroit now offers Native American groups 50% discount to purchase land. That's a big deal, I feel like. I'm never going to be mad at Native Americans getting their just due. And I'm not sure what the incentive is for Detroit to do that, but, you know, I don't even really, I don't know the population of Native Americans in Detroit. I know growing up in Michigan for myself, there were definitely the Hispanic culture is Mexican. Down here is, you know, Caribbean, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominican. Up there was Mexican. I feel like now people have just moved all over the place. It's that I don't feel like people are so in a cell like they used to be. What does it say? Detroit's Land Bank Authority has approved a policy giving Indigenous, Native American, Alaskan Native individuals entities a 50% discount on property sold through its auctions. To qualify, the buyer must present a photo ID issued by a federal recognized tribe or Alaskan Native entity. The discount is subject to conditions, including requirements that the purchaser hold the property for 3 years to vest the full benefit. I mean, I see this as a positive in terms of whatever we got going on now. If Detroit is a, you know, Black city, highly populated with Black people, so you know what they're doing in these cities over in Chicago, acting a fool. So I hope that that's not going to be an issue, you know what I mean, for Detroit dealing with the attack on American cities that are highly populated with people of color. I've seen this clown. Where is it at? So Trump went and bailed out Argentina's government with a $20 billion lifetime stop the country from a financial crisis. Oh, good grief. During America's federal government shutdown. So the government is shut down and the president has passed 20 billion he passed over to Argentina. I don't know what the agreement is. I don't know what our relationship with Argentina is. I don't know what that's all about, but he just gave away 20 billion, but the food stamps program will run out of money in 2 weeks. And roughly 42 million people are at risk of losing critical food assistance in November amid a government shutdown. So this, ironically, I mean, as a village, we're going to have to get together to take care of our own. I need to learn how to process large game. But see, I agree. I think that's things that we need to learn. You know, it has to be somewhere. You in Georgia, so yeah, this guy, the Keep the Land guy. I feel like he said there's organizations. I saw that also, like in the community page. If you don't have a community page where you live, you should be in the community page. But I seen somebody saying like, where do I get cows at? You know, when I lived up north, I ate wild meat. My uncles used to hunt deer, and you know, we have venison for winter, and you keep you an extra freezer. You're gonna have to go back to doing things the way you used to, because Walmart, and then like when you think about it, a cow will last a family for a while. You know what I'm saying? You don't need millions of them. You just need a couple few to keep you some meat through the season. I like deer meat. I like wild meat. I'm not game, you know, I'm not into the hunting and that kind of thing, but I know people that do. And you know what? They're not Black. We have to stop like staying away from things that it's natural. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think to learn how to process large game, you can learn it on the internet these days. You don't even have to go far to do it. But yeah, this man has bailed out Argentina, and we about to be in a situation. Imagine though, not having to rely on food stamps because you could garden your own food. And like El Cid said, like know how to process meat. Small game and fish. Like small game like rabbit and squirrel, because I know my uncles used to go hunt for that too. It sounds, I don't know. I'm born in the north, but I'm raised by people that were born in the south. So all of that stuff, you know, is not something that's foreign to me. When you think about eating, rabbits and chickens, when you think about that, then it can't be worse than friggin' McDonald's. And chickens, like I said, those are things I think that you just have to put a little effort to find out how to do it, because you know we're gonna have to do something different. These programs are important, but what are you gonna do when you don't have access to it anymore? Unfortunately, I think some people are about to find out, and a majority of the people that are about to find out, believe it or not, probably voted for Trump. So for all of you people that are so excited to have your boy over here making a mess of everything, and it ain't even just him. I saw Mitch McConnell fall down walking out of somewhere. They holding his elbows, and he's still at work talking about his term doesn't end until 27. So it's a bunch of creeps rocking around in these positions of politics and office, and they're just rambling around with a bunch of senior citizens that have dementia. I saw AI video that Trumpet put out of him flying over, because he loves AI. He can make himself do all the things he really can't do. So I saw an AI of him flying in a plane with a crown on his head, I guess dumping shit on the people that were protesting. It was something brown falling out. I don't know if it was shit or mud or what it was. We have seen him pooping himself at different press conferences and things lately. So I don't know if it was poop. All I'm saying is these are the people that are in charge. So are they really? I don't think Mitch McConnell's in charge of anything. I think he's doing what he's told to do. And these modern MAGA AI, we don't want people. What is the world supposed to look like for them? I'm so confused. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road. I want to go down the road of positivity. So if you find yourself in a position to purchase some land, please do, and learn how to work the land. Learn how to process small game, large game. Learn how to garden. Learn how to take care of yourself. If you live in a house and you're relying on food stamps, I'm sure there's some portion of your yard that you can, garden, learn something. Try it. See what's natural to your area, because whew, it's gonna be hard. We just in year one. We got a few more years left. And yes, like Elsa said, please go vote. This is kind of a little bit what is that emotion when you feel both happy and sad at the same damn time? It's like, yay. Let's celebrate, I suppose. 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of women being able to apply for mortgages without a man's permission. How about that? Literally 50 years ago. That means I was a small child and I had no idea that this was even a thing because, my mother was a boss. And so that wasn't something she acted like. I know my mom was married to my sister and brother's father. I can speak about it now because nobody's here to have hurt feelings. My mother was married to my sister and brother's father, and straight from home. She used to tell me that she got married. Obviously, she got a boyfriend, she got in a relationship, and she got married to leave home. She just wanted to leave home. So she moved from her mother's house to her husband's house because that was the option back then. It's just mind-boggling. That was the option back then. He was abusive. So now she's in this abusive relationship with someone and has children with someone who she can't go nowhere because she can't get a house on her own. My grandmother did. She had a house on her own, and I don't know how she did that. It was probably somebody, that helped her get it, like, a brother or something. You had to have a man, to get a mortgage. So she did have brothers, and that's probably how. That's an interesting story. I'm gonna have to go find that out. I bet you T probably knows the answer to some of those questions. But anyway, in 2025, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of a turning point in financial history. The moment when women in the United States could finally apply for credit, including a mortgage, without needing a husband or a male relative's signature. Before 1974, many banks, 1974, that's crazy. Many banks routinely denied women the right to borrow money on their own. Even working women with steady incomes were often told they needed a male co-signer to buy a home, open a credit card, or even lease an apartment. Married women's incomes were frequently discounted or ignored altogether. That changed in October 28, 1974, when Congress passed the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. This landmark law made it illegal for creditors to discriminate based on sex, marital status, finally opening the door for women to take full control of their financial futures. While the law took effect in 1975, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act did more than just change lending policies. It helped reshape the very idea of economic independence for women. It gave generations of women the freedom to win property, build wealth, to own property, build wealth, and secure homes in their own names. Half a century later, the legacy of this act continues to empower women, are now among the fastest growing groups of home buyers in America. The powerful reminder that access to credit is access to equality. Yeah, it's a scary thought. That was just 50 years ago. And see how your parents be moving and you don't know nothing about it? Because I had no clue as a child that that my mother was even dealing with that. Hey Shayna, welcome to the chat. Elsie says for y'all to like the live, thumbs up, subscribe. Yeah, I remember like when I was a kid, first of all, there's 17, 18 years between my sister, brother, and me. So I feel like he was like 19 and my sister was 18 when I was born. And so my mom was independent on her own. She worked for General Motors, and obviously, I'm like, we had a house. I don't know. Maybe, actually, when I was little like that, well, no, we had a house. We had a house and we lived in an apartment. And, my mom was able to, purchase homes. I don't know. Like, obviously, her ex husband didn't help her do it. So, had to be a brother. And this is something that I never thought about until, today, until right now, actually, because she moves so independently, not just being a woman, but also being a Black woman. I guess that's why for me, I'm so grateful for General Motors and what it did for, this country, just because I was able to benefit from a lot of good things. It wasn't like scratching in good times, scraping and surviving or whatever they was doing over there. And I went off when I used to watch Good Times. I was like, there is the mother, the father, the grown kid, there was a lot of people in the house. I feel like the only kid was really Michael. Why were they struggling so hard? Walona had her own place, but they was in the hood. And I'm like, my mother lives like pretty okay by herself. I don't understand. Like there was, like I said, we had a house. I had, dance lessons and all that stuff that you have growing up. I guess, if you're doing okay. I had no idea that there was this whole thing where you couldn't even, as a woman, own anything because my mother made me feel like it was just so easy to do. So shout out to her because, what you say, your grandmother had to have a passport with your grandfather. Women could not have their own passports. That's not something I, like I said, would have even thought about because my mother moved along so independently in my childhood. I had no idea. And being Black, I would say also that's the benefit of living in Flint. Flint, Michigan, it have a different kind of energy. It's not Detroit. Detroit got its own energy. Flint got its own. That's why I said Detroit is like Flint's big cousin. We had General Motors, and I don't feel like in Flint we didn't have anything that they didn't have, even though they were Detroit. But we had our own music industry. We could see everything. Everybody came to Flint. So Flint is definitely much more than just a water crisis. I feel like nowadays everybody that brings that up. But once General Motors left, it turned into a different place. So I will say that much. But yeah, so shout out to the ladies and their independence. So don't let them take it back. I haven't been able to get through like 6 episodes of Handmaid's Tale, to be honest. When I first started watching it, it was interesting. And I was like, this feels too much like real. And now I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it or don't watch it. Do y'all watch Handmaid's Tale? I don't want to fall in that hole. These kids, that's what Jamal Bryant said. He said these kids are soft. This next generation, new younger generation of kids. I guess, I fall into the category of guilty of making them soft, I guess. But yeah, let's hear what Jamal Bryant has to say about these kids.
Raising children who operate with white privilege with no Black consciousness. So you are raising these soft, suburban, entitled kids who got flat screen televisions in their bedroom, but the Negroes can't conjugate verbs. They got $1,000 cell phones and don't know how to reduce fractions. They got expensive tennis shoes and you don't even make the little Negro go out for the team. Stop making your children soft, because it's an evil world out there and they're not prepared for it. You have got to stop raising.
It's an evil world out there. They're not prepared for it. And I don't feel like nothing wrong was said here. Am I the only one? Like, I don't like church, but I feel like I would want to go see what Jamal Bryant. I feel like going to one of his services. He's a good, what do you call it? You know how words leave my charismatic. He's a good charismatic preacher. And I was like, like I said, I guess I fall into the category of guilty. I agree. Sometimes talking to my own kids, I'm like, y'all have no clue. Like I said, growing up, like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I've seen so much because technology progressed so fast within that time frame. Like now we're used to it. We're used to like getting an iPhone and then 3 months later be like, got to get that new iPhone. We can't even wait for things anymore. We've turned into a society of people who have an attention span of about 5.5 seconds. So, you know, that doesn't surprise me, you know, that things are moving fast. But back in the day, it just wasn't like that. And these kids are like, you know, I've run across clients who their kids like have a cell phone and they're just a baby. And I'm like, what does this baby need with a cell phone? He's not going anywhere. He's going to be with you. So he said that, and I seen this, and I felt so bad for this mother. Oh, you can't hear it? Let's try it again. That's not fair. Throwing off the whole momentum. We can't hear her.
Are you gonna hit me or something?
What the fuck I'ma hit you for, Samaya? I don't got no beef with you. Your beef is with me.
I don't even talk to you. What are you talking about?
I called you to make sure that you had a ride to work. I don't have to give a damn about you getting to work, Samaya.
No, you didn't. You told me that I had to pay you to get to work.
I said, do you have some money? Because I don't have none. And then I said, Bug, I got $10. But what I'm trying to tell you for next time is that you can't depend on me to pay my money and my gas to get you to and from work. That's not my responsibility. You can't get mad because I'm telling you you gotta buy your own food. You're an adult. That's not my responsibility.
So you're not my mom no more because
Bug, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to put your kid in a bill.
What have you helped me with? You haven't taught me how to drive. You haven't given me no money
Where
to
the
put
fuck
to
do you
school.
sleep?
You have not done nothing else.
When do you brush your teeth?
Okay, so
Who
what?
been washing your
Okay,
goddamn
so as soon as I
clothes?
graduate, I'm
Bug,
supposed to
I've been taking care of you. I didn't tell you you had to leave.
Yes, you
I did
did.
not tell you you
Yes,
had
you
to leave.
did.
You said, I hate it here. I hate you. I want to hurry up and move out of here.
And then you
I
said
didn't
I
come
had
in here and
30
say,
days.
Bug, pack your shit and get the fuck out.
Yes, you did.
I
You
never
literally
told you
did.
that.
Yes, you did.
No.
We can go to the messages. Yes, you did. You told me that 2 weeks ago that I had 30 days to
You told me
leave.
that you was gonna go anyway, Bug. But you
Okay.
supposed to be going
I
to
was
work.
running up
You
to
didn't
leave.
take your ass to work. Why? Because you got fired. That's how I know you didn't
Because
go
of
to
you.
work. No, because of you, Bug. Because
You were
all
the one
I
that
said
didn't
was,
take
Bug.
me.
Bug, how much money you make? How much money do you make?
Not $2,000. I barely
Listen
make
to-
$1,000 a month.
You make $1,000 a month.
Barely.
You told me you make $2,000 a month.
Barely.
But it doesn't even matter, Bug. All I asked for was $50 to $100 out of there. That
A
would
week.
still left you with.
A week.
No, I said when you get paid.
Every
50
week.
to 100. I didn't know when you got paid. That's why I asked you. Either way, you would have still had a bulk of money left, Bug. All I said was help me.
So
You're
you want me-
causing me to have to pay gas.
So is Jamal wrong? So Samaya, I feel for this mother because clearly she's busting her ass, and the things that have happened within the last year, as far as the economy is concerned, it's also been moving very fast with things getting snatched away, benefits getting snatched away. People are out here, you know, trying to get enough gas money to go to work back and forth. I don't know what city they lived in, but This mother asked this young lady, you're working now. When you start working, you have to have some type of responsibility as a young adult to contribute to the household, period. That's it. That's all. She said, you're not my mother anymore because I'm grown. No, young lady, you're grown, so you have responsibilities. She had her edges and stuff done, like dead hair products, all of that, toilet paper, laundry detergent. These all cost money. Gas. So she blamed her mother for getting fired because she didn't have gas money to get to work. You know, they got Uber. So when Jamal said, Jamal Bryant said the kids are soft, it is. It's like, and like I said, I've been guilty of it. You provide, you do. In my household, I clean. And then when people keep making messes, I snap. And then, you know, it's my fault because I didn't teach people how to clean. So I don't know. I feel like it goes back to purchasing some land and having your kids learn things like how to survive, because things have become so convenient for them that they don't, like he said, they are not prepared. They are not prepared for what's going to happen. I'm doing my best to try to help prepare my children, and then they're attacking the schools. So the information that your kids are going to get when you go to send them to public school is going to be misinformation, more than likely. School is designed to keep this kids stupid, so they don't desire better than what they parents had. So, whew, what a drag. What are we going to do with these kids? I mean, I guess everybody has a responsibility, because at the end of the day, if you didn't teach them, then it's not fair for you to expect them to do the things. And so that's when I'm going to have to, take accountability for my own self. What else, child? Okay. Oh, we don't want to talk about Samaya anymore. This grandmother. So what would you do? Is there music? This grandmother waited until the child's mother went out of town and cut his hair. Why would she do that? Why would she think that's an okay thing to do? I can't imagine. My grandson has a head full of thick, luscious hair. I would never, ever take my grandson to no barbershop or to my shop or anything like that and proceed to cut his hair without his mother's permission. So what did the people say? This is a tricky one. We all know how people don't play about their kids. Well, what happens when a family takes it upon themselves to enforce things you wouldn't allow your child to do when you're not around? In a now viral video, a woman shares footage of her nephew, Jeremiah, receiving a haircut. His hair was originally down his back. Now this is where things take a turn. Apparently, the grandmother took it upon herself to authorize the haircut while Jeremiah's mother was on vacation. They clarified that he had been requesting a cut and that the grandmother noted that if she asked again while in her care, she'd give it to him. The mother is pissed, obviously. The sister captioned the video with, "Baby, all my nephew Jeremiah's hair got cut off by his grandmother and she added the mother left. She was pissed at my mom because she didn't ask for permission, but J.U. Jew wanted the haircut and he loves it." She commented under the video, "I don't care what he wanted. He's a child. Looked like he about, 5, 6 years old? Nobody cared what he wanted. His mother should be the one at the barbershop. He looks adorable, but I'm just saying, grandmother, you out of line. My sister is mad because my mom didn't ask for permission, and she's mad at me because I made a video. I made a video because I've been creating content, not thinking the video would blow up. My mom told my sister that if she ever left her son with her, she'd cut it off if he asks again because he's been asking for months for a haircut. So I guess what Grandma did, cut the baby's hair. And no, I don't see anything wrong with it because I don't know why my sister would think my mom was playing about cutting his hair. Our mother is like that, for real. 10 toes down on what she says. Well, you know what? I wouldn't bring the baby over there and let him stay over there. I would bring him because obviously you want the mother to see the grandson, but you can't be trusted. I don't know what you're going to do, if I leave him with you. You let him, get a haircut. So can you take him here and there? No. If we're going to go out on Saturday to the mall, I'll invite you to come to the mall with us so you can hang out. But you would definitely receive some type of consequences, Grandma, for taking it upon yourself to cut this baby's hair. While she's out of town, that's wild. Girl. Something else happened. Oh, this was good news. Let's get into some good news. Barbie honors legendary choreographer Debbie Allen with a tribute gala celebrating Black excellence in the dance and in arts. Oh, I just love that. I love Debbie Allen. She made such an impact on me as a young girl. Woo! Hey, Debbie Allen doll. Fame cost, and you about to start paying right now in sweat. Something like that. Love it. Y'all need to teach your children about Debbie Allen. For all of you young girls that want to get out here and dance, Debbie Allen is the GOAT that they call it. Don't they say the GOAT? She's the GOAT. Last I heard, she was on the Alvin Ailey Dance Studio. I don't know. While Debbie Allen is over here, becoming legendary, Timberland is out here, I guess, trying to erase the very industry that he, brought so much creativity to. Timberland debuts his first video from his AI-generated artist, Tata Taktumi. Says the internet has mixed feelings. My feelings aren't mixed. I'm not going to play the music, but here she is. So this is an AI artist. And I don't know. I definitely don't like it. Timberland has definitely taken the artists out of the industry. I saw somewhere, it's right here. That's when it starts. MTV is shutting down their music channels after 40 years. So, and probably because we have so much access to artists like that we didn't used to have. But MTV was used to be where you would go, to get the music and see the videos. Now they just put out their own videos, and I'm not mad at that, but MTV is gone. After 40 years on air, MTV is saying goodbye to a big part of its music legacy. The network announced it will shut down 5 of its UK channels: MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, Club MTV, and MTV Live on December 31st. Its flagship station, MTV HD, will remain on air, continuing to focus on hits, reality series like Geordie Shore and Naked Dating UK. Okay. I don't know what those things are. MTV, which first debuted in the US in 1981 with the iconic launch of the video Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles, helped shape the global pop culture and music television. MTV Europe followed in 1987 and dedicated UK version arrived a decade later in 1997. Former MTV VJ Simone Angel told the BBC she's heartbroken by the news, saying she's really sad and still in disbelief. While the brand that once revolutionized music videos has evolved over time, many fans are left nostalgic for an era when MTV truly meant music television. I mean, I feel like MTV shot itself in the foot. It started being a place where you went to go see reality shows and not watch videos. I feel like they could have survived had they continued to put, their video shows hosted with different, popular people, young people. So, the era is gone. But yeah, so Timberland is over here trying to kill the artist. MTV's killing the channel, and he's over here trying to, make AI artists a new thing. I don't want it, Timberland, but who am I? I can't stop progress, and this is some progress I'm not interested in. So, child, I talked about Taylor Swift before, and so apparently Taylor Swift has launched a jewelry necklace to go with her, tour. Taylor Swift is a mega machine, the top artist in the world. So, I don't feel one way or another. They said she came for the black girls. I don't know. I guess maybe she did. I'm not sure. But I do know that she put out this necklace that caused some more controversy, Taylor. And I don't know, like the necklace has lightning bolts and there's some type of undertone. I don't want to get into all of that because people are breaking it down. But I just like the way this guy broke it down in terms of what it is people think they're seeing.
The Taylor Swift necklace just dropped and people are going absolutely goo goo gaga over it. Some people really like it and some people are looking at it and going, that sure do look like Cracker Jack bolts. And a lot of y'all have been asking me to deconstruct it and go, well, is it or isn't it? You're the one who's into all this weird internet stuff. Tell us. So I'm going to tell you how to identify this kind of thing. Now we know that people who love to play Yahtzee also love their lightning bolt imagery, and that is for historic reasons. When Mr. Funny Mustache Man was creating his Reich, he was also creating an entire world with its own mythology and principles for his Reich to exist within. And part of this was the idea that the German people were descended from the gods of Old Norse. They weren't just reclaiming their greatness as the German Empire, they were also reclaiming their status as gods or as demigods, which means they adopted a lot of ancient Nordic symbology, including many of their runes. One of the most famous being the Sig rune, or the double Sig, which is what everybody is correlating these lightning bolts to, the double SS. Unfortunately, I can't show any of the images here to provide y'all a practical breakdown, but I will do that over on Substack. So if you are interested in the follow-up to this and what it actually looks like visually broken down, you can check out my bio and find it there. Now, the original double Sig has a flat top, and then the lightning bolt, and then a flat bottom. It is usually in black or white with a black or white outline around it. But naturally, after the Funny Mustache Man and all his friends lost their Minecraft server, those people were driven underground and no longer allowed to use their overt symbology to identify each other and themselves out in the wild, especially when you consider the visceral reactions that people tend to have towards people who use those symbols. So they had to come up with variations around this, and this is what we know as dog whistles. So someone might see just a regular lightning bolt and another person might see a comrade in arms. The way you can identify these lightning bolts is by looking at the original Sig Viking rune. If the lightning bolt follows the pattern of the Sig lightning rune, whether or not it has a flat top or a point, you can kind of ascertain that it may be what you think it is. This is what the Sig rune looks like. National Archives and academic researchers have compiled plenty of variations of the Sig rune that have tops and don't have tops, have bottoms and don't have bottoms. But either way, they follow that same pattern. And when two of them are placed closely together, it is assuredly exactly what you think it is. Dog whistles will always contain a high level of plausible deniability, because a dog whistle is meant to be heard by dogs and not people. One of the ways you can tell, though, is the frequency of the whistling. If there is one whistle, okay, their plausible deniability kicks in. One whistle, two whistle, three whistle, four whistle. If you got dogs in your yard, then someone is calling for those dogs. So one of the ways that you can utilize your discernment is finding the frequency of the whistles. If there's too many whistles, you may not want to associate with that person, or you might just want to have your wits about you. Anyway, I will be uploading a more detailed version of this to my Substack, in which I'm conducting independent research on fringe online movements. Even though this one's more, I mean, it ties in. If you look at my internet history videos, it ties in, that's for sure. Anyway, I hope I explained that all right without being able to use the images. Remember, always use your discernment. Be critical of everything around you, especially things that you enjoy. It is okay to be critical of what you enjoy. That's not a bad thing at all. The Taylor Swift...
So it's okay to be critical of things you enjoy, just in case you didn't know. I don't know what's going on with Taylor Swift. I know I haven't heard her say anything about any of the things that they're saying about her. Does it surprise me that she's a little intimidated by women of color? No, because she knew before she got over there what her man was into. And so there's that. These are her insecurities, and, you know, we all got them. So that's all I can say about that. As far as this necklace is concerned, I don't feel like Taylor Swift does anything on accident. So if there's some subliminal message in there that's meant to like dog whistle people, I feel like Taylor damn sure knows it. And if she doesn't know it, if she didn't know it, based on like all the chatter that's going on out there, she might want to address it, unless she wants to be associating herself with Funny Mustache Man, as he likes to call it. Cracker Jacks. He shouldn't have never let me hear that one, because Cracker Jacks definitely will work its way over here on my channel. Anyway, I feel like most of the people, the necklaces is sold out, but I feel like most of the people that purchase the necklaces are Taylor Swift fans and probably don't have any idea about the lightning bolts and, you know, what they represent. However, if I see someone, you know, sporting them little Oppo lightning bolt necklaces, I'm going to pause, because I'm going to be aware, and now you could be aware, that they just might be a member of the Funny Mustache clan. That's it. That's all. What else? Ciao. I wanted to talk about Wendy just a little bit. Not so much about, you know, we know she's got the charges and all of that. I just wonder, you know, Wendy and Eddie came over here in the beginning, and I went back and watched just a few episodes of when she first got here. She was definitely not this girl here, this fabulous lady that looks like she just walked off the runway of Paris. However, is what she did, because I feel like Wendy and Eddie are probably going to get a substantial amount of time. I do. I feel like Wendy and Eddie are probably going to have some time spent. Are they going to let them do, you know, we don't know. I don't want to wish that on them. So let's don't talk about that right now. I'm just, you know, comparing Wendy to Karen Huger, because Karen will probably most definitely come back to work at Potomac. And we're glad that Karen's out of jail and all that. But I feel like, is what Karen did worse than what Wendy did? Like, Karen had 4 DUIs and put her life and the life of others in danger. Not just 4 times, but probably on a regular basis, because we know that, you know, she wasn't getting caught every single time she left somewhere under the influence. Wendy sold us And this is another thing. The Wendy that she sold us is actually that Wendy. She's, accomplished, political commentator, 4 degrees, all of those things that she said. Wendy also said that she didn't know who the mortgage company was and how Eddie was paying the bills. So this is why you don't do that. And I don't know, like, if she was in on it. They was over there, Bonnie and Clyde, on Instagram. So I don't know if she was in on it, but did she, like, get bamboozled into doing something because Eddie was, trying to keep up with an image that he actually couldn't keep up with? I don't know. But when this is all over, are we going to still welcome Wendy back? Who is she going to sell herself as? I think, everybody deserves a second chance. I'm not as mad at Wendy about what she did as I am about how stupid that they moved over here. So it just doesn't make sense. I guess we'll just have to wait, with bated breath to find out, what's going to happen with Wendy. But fabulous Wendy over here, like a spread out, like I said, the Paris runway. I wish Wendy would have, and maybe she still can, like, you could still be fabulous. Why wouldn't you, like, find a young Nigerian designer that you could represent here? We always over here trying to represent, I don't know whose name is attached to this dress, but, Dior, one of the labels, that these girls like to, it's giving Dior. It looks like a perfume ad. Anyway, I wish we would come over here and, like I said, big up some of the young designers that, maybe would not have been in your pocket so much. You could be a trendsetter, Wendy. You over there in Potomac. It's easy. It's so easy. Nobody can dress over there. So it's not like you have competition. And, style is not about how much money you pay for it. Style is about how you pull it off. So, yeah. I don't want it to be over for Wendy necessarily. I hope that, they figure it out. It's a lot of money and a lot of charges over there. So we'll be on pause with that for right now. And yeah, Wendy, hell, y'all want Karen back. And I don't think this is a thing. Everybody's like, I want to see Karen back. I'm a Karen Huger fan too, but I feel like Karen is going to come over here and still be full of shit. She's going to come over here. She will get another opportunity over here in Potomac because, all these Bravo girls got a mugshot. So that's not even, so shocking. It's just that we would have never thought that Dr. Wendy would do something like this. But I don't think Karen is going to come back and take any type of accountability. We're going to all be over here pissed off because Karen going to come over here and act like she's still the grand dame. She didn't do anything. Monica and Brandy. Brandy had a little snag in her. They opened in Chicago, and Brandy was dehydrated or something, and she couldn't continue to perform. So the show was cut short. We're gonna listen to what Monica had to say. This is one concert I really want to go to. I really want to go to this concert.
To whom much is given, but sometimes we don't know what it's going to require. And my gratefulness stands because something happened that tried to take the voice away. But you know what? God's grace and His mercy continues to allow me to do this every night. And while some are laughing, I'm making the devil my footstool and coming out here every night for y'all. Every night. I'm not going anywhere. I definitely want to say it's an honor to share the stage with Brandy Norwood. Now I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. It took 27 years to figure out what we were supposed to be. And what I'm realizing is we allowed too many other people in the midst of what was just supposed to be us. So, in honor of just the way I feel, as I say thank you to each and every one of you, I want y'all to make some noise all around this room for Brandy, the vocal Bible. Now I say that with love because I know who I am and whose I am. And I'm gonna stand on being the realest and singing this real shit, telling y'all about all this crazy stuff I've been going through in my life. And what I'm realizing is we allow.
So, oh, the baby's mad. Yeah, so I don't know how much that she was able to perform. I'm sure Monica carried and picked up where Brandy left off. They didn't get to see them perform The Boy Is Mine, which is tragic. But, get better, Brandy, because this is one show that, I'm really looking forward to seeing be successful and hopefully attending when it comes my way. Angel got her wings. Angel got her wings. I love this for Angel Reese. I'm not going to talk about any of the negative things because, people always have something to say about this young lady when she gets, over here in the media. Victoria's Secret's fashion show happened and Angel Reese was given her wings. Now, Angel, I love you, girl. I want you to work on your walk. And, because Angel got a big old booty. It seems like it's a lot for her to carry. And probably doesn't walk in heels like that normally. She does, but she needs to, work on her walk. I want to see Angel on more runways. I feel like the WNBA, although she's a fantastic basketball player, is probably just a launch pad for her to do other things. And yeah, so shout out to Angel. Love me some Angel Reese. And yes, work those wings, love. What else happened, y'all? I don't know why they hate on Angel so much. I mean, I guess I do, but it's always so like, can y'all relax? The girl is talented. The girl is beautiful. And back off of Angel just a bit. So this is sad. We lost D'Angelo and Diane Keaton this past week. D'Angelo, caught our attention with the V when he had us looking over the edge of the TV to see like how far he was going to bring it on down. But just an amazing artist. I heard him doing an interview and they were asking him, I guess they categorized him as neo soul. And he said, no, he's soul music because that's where his music comes from. So yeah, if you haven't had the opportunity to get D'Angelo on your playlist, you might want to go ahead and do that. Him and Angie Stone had a son. I think his son was only 27. So sad that he lost both of his parents so close together. So yeah, love out to the young D'Angelo's young son. And yeah, we also lost Diane Keaton, a legend in the game, First Wives Club. I've seen her in so many things. I've always liked Diane Keaton. And so I might make it a weekend where I check out, some D'Angelo, get some D'Angelo on the playlist and maybe get into some nostalgia of some of the movies that we grew up on with Diane Keaton. So RIP to two legends. I'm going to end with this. We have unfortunately allow our story to be told by others. This is an example of that, how our story was told. We have a lot of access to a lot of things and we don't need anybody to tell our story. So let's make sure we're out here telling our story, our way.
Or about Africa. Can you guess where they're from? Both were made in the mid-20th century. But let's take a closer look at how the United States portrayed African countries. This is the image that they show children. This is the seed that was planted in our brain about African people, completely untouched by civilization. Now let's take a look at the Soviet Union and how they did it. This is the exact same time period, but obviously there is a human aspect. A man smiling, growing crops outside of his home. The same people, but two very different stories. The indoctrination starts with the children. These two cartoons are about Africa. Can you guess where they're from? Both were made in the mid-20th century.
She said the indoctrination starts with the children. That's not just our children. That's all the children. This was from the United States. So like I said, let's stop letting them tell our story. We have a lot of inventors. We have a lot of history that, you know, built this country. So let's take what we got and tell our own stories. And so our kids can have images of themselves that they're proud of, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a real cute over here at the Timeline Tea. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow at 7 to talk about these Potomac housewives. So bye, y'all.